Hey, 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 everybody. Here I am with Janet Zimbalatti. She's a director of the board of directors for the North Bay Symphony, and she's also a violinist. Janet, how are you?
Paul, thank you for inviting me to do this interview. I'm very grateful, and so is the symphony, for sure.
That's awesome. I gave you a minute's notice. You thought we were doing a different style of interview, and I had said, listen, let's get this message out to our private Facebook group, which is Support Local Business. There's about 300 local businesses in here, and we need to get the message out about all the great things North Bay Symphony does, but maybe their hands are tied right now because events aren't happening and things are changing due to COVID. So talk to us a little bit about what can business owners do to kind of get behind and support the symphony here in North Bay?
Well, that's a difficult question at the moment. As you know, we don't know when audiences will be allowed to concerts yet. We don't know when players will be allowed to get together to rehearse together. And obviously, the symphony is dependent on events, concert events, with an entire orchestra, or events with chamber music, which is fewer musicians playing. And of course, fundraising events, things like golf tournaments and dinners, which in this COVID time are all impossible to do. So we're reaching out as well as we can to thank all our musicians, to keep them involved a little bit. For instance, on Easter Sunday, a lot of the musicians went out on their front porches, and we all played this wonderful Beethoven piece, Ode to Joy,
Great idea.
and some other pieces just for fun and just to know that we're still important to people and to ourselves with music. And we're, very active on Facebook. Today, as you may know, is Giving Tuesday, May the 5th. And of course, many, many charities are asking people to reach into their pockets and support the charities that are important to them. We do feel music is really important at this time. It's many, many, many kinds of music, of course. And
It
I know we
connects
have.
everybody. It's a great connector.
It's a connector, and it's emotional to us, and it takes us out of normal ways of thinking and worrying. So yes, and of course, a great delight to all of us, whatever kind of music we prefer to listen to.
Right.
So what are we doing with the North Bay Symphony? We're planning for the next season, but we don't know what it'll be like yet. We don't know if it's going to be small groups in small concerts. We don't know whether, depending on, I suppose, when we know if there's a vaccine, how we would be able to have a larger audience. As I think I've mentioned before, we're normally a 4-concert season. We're at the Capitol Center. We normally have between 700 and 900 people who come to the concerts and who revel in the music. But we'll have to see when that can start again.
Yeah. So the North Bay Symphony is always looking and open for donations, right?
We live by ticket sales. That's almost half of our income. We live by sponsorships, people who like to reach out to this large audience we have. We live with government grants, mostly through the Ontario Arts Council, and we apply to many foundations. And we absolutely live by our donors. We have many, many faithful donors, and in fact, we're creating a card which will go out towards the end of the week, I think, with pictures of many musicians, fellow musicians, all saying thank you so much to our donors and to our sponsors.
That's awesome.
Yes, any donate, because of course, like other arts organizations, you do have overheads that don't go away. So even though you're not bringing money in through normal ticket sales or fundraising events, we still have to survive or close. And we're so passionate we won't close. We will not close. We will be here for ourselves and for everybody else when all of this COVID stuff is finished.
Yeah, that's good to hear. So you mentioned a few minutes ago about, not even being able to rehearse. So I guess the only way to do that now would be to rehearse virtually.
Well, it's pretty hard with because of many platforms, as you know, have a slight pause between
Right.
sending and receiving. That makes it very hard when you're musicians to play at the same time. But I do take private lessons from Calvin Cheng, who's our concertmaster,
Yeah.
and we do that by Skype, and that's very helpful. For me in particular, I played violin now for 60 years, I guess, over 60 years. But, you know, to have a professional showing you what you can do to play better, to make a better sound, even though I don't think Calvin can actually hear the sound accurately over the platform. But to make a better sound is what I need to push up the game at the moment.
Yeah.
And the other virtual meetings I have is a daily Skype with my granddaughter,
Nice.
who is learning violin and piano, and we do her practice together. So
That's
yes, those
awesome.
platforms are very useful. And as you know, places like the Toronto Symphony, who perhaps have greater access to techs, are able to put out some wonderful YouTube or streaming videos of many members playing together. But
That's
so
awesome.
far we haven't got that
So I think
ability.
I think for some of the business owners that might want to reach out to you, maybe they can't, maybe it's not about donating right this minute, but maybe it's about planning with you, you know, for an upcoming event where they can be part of the sponsorship. Maybe that's the dialogues that need to start happening.
Well, that would be just great. Our operations and marketing lady, Leanne Meyers, is looking for that kind of contact. We have talked to all of our current sponsors, of course, and thanked them again, and hope they'll be back when times are better again. But please, any business that would like to reach out for music's sake, because they love music, or for reaching a very loyal audience, mostly of people who, of course, can afford to buy tickets, mostly people who are in their, say 40, 45 and older. People who after this COVID thing may be ready to, make improvements to the house they've grown tired of, or, who might want something that would bring another zing to your life after we've gone through all of this. We'd love to hear from businesses who think that would be a good thing.
Good. Well, I've learned a lot about the North Bay Symphony with your membership in BNI, and I'm part of BNI as well, which is Business Networking International. I've come to learn a lot about, what the symphony does, the value it brings to the community. So I can see where this would really benefit other businesses. And that's another reason why I wanted to get you on, was to get that message out there to these business owners that there's all kinds of different organizations. You are a charity organization within BNI, the official charity. So we want to support you guys. And even some of the people you've brought to the table, some of the testimonials that they said, they were so impressed with being associated with your team and the symphony. So hats off to you. Well done. Good job.
Thanks, Paul. I think I've told you many times at BNI, which I truly value. You've been great for the symphony. But I've told you many times, we are a community orchestra. We do have some professional people who are in North Bay and keep the quality of the music going. But I think what we need to say over and over again is, we may be local, but we're very, very good musicians, and we provide very good concerts. So the quality is there. Everybody who sponsors us says, yes, this is good quality music, and we can be proud of being a sponsor of this organization.
Well, you've got some incredible team members. I know your sister, Rosalind, she's awesome.
Yeah.
You have Leanne Meyers, incredible. Yes. You have Dr. Mark Swain, incredible. I believe his wife is part of it as well.
She is. That's Carol Zimbalatti. She's a violist. Yeah.
Yeah. You said you had David. Who's the grand? Who's the boss in there as far as?
Thomas Jones is our conductor and music director.
Okay.
And he's a very fine musician.
And did you say David Chang or?
Calvin Cheng is our concertmaster. That's right. And then a team of 140 volunteers, Paul.
Well, I can't name them all, but you're all pretty awesome.
Thank you. We love it. We love it. Great to be in North Bay. North Bay is a great city for the arts in many, many ways, and we're proud to be among them.
Okay, listen, we're going to be getting back to selling tickets soon enough. You know, audiences are going to come together, maybe 6 feet apart, whatever that looks like, but it is going to happen. It is going to come back. So we'll see you on the other side of this. Janet, what's the best number for someone to reach you at to have these discussions, maybe about sponsorship?
I think I'll just give you my private number just because you didn't give me any warning, Paul, and I didn't have things in front of me. So give me a call myself at 705-840-5157.
Okay. Is someone also answering the ticket line 474-4747?
That is likely, no, it's, try this one instead, Paul.
Yeah.
705-494-7744.
Okay.
We'll get the message. And yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for everything that you're doing for the symphony. I know you put in a lot of volunteer hours, a lot of time, and can't thank you enough. So thank you so much for coming on. I greatly appreciate it.
And thank you for this, Paul. This is a really useful thing you're doing for the community. And as soon as we finish, I'm going to make sure I get back to Facebook.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll talk to you again. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.